Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Mull to 4. Now this week, like we said last week, we're looking to do something a little bit different. So firstly, we're going to do a little bit of a pack one, pick one draft theme, where we've been very
kindly,
very kindly been given a pack of Magic Origins by Mark Aylett. So thank you, Mark.
Wonder Man Mark.
That is the Mark who we mentioned last week, who wins all the things, and
the Mark who
he won again.
My confidence went through the floor when I was playing him, essentially. As well.
So yeah, we basically had a tournament on Friday, and a brief summary of that. I beat Mike again. Not really a big story, and
we won't talk about that.
And Mark won, and he gave us one of the packs that he won.
Yeah,
so
he
thanks.
got like 5 boosters and went have a pack on your show. Tell me what your pack one, pick one would be. So it's entirely up to you. We can do that now and then go through what else we're going to go through. We can give you the itinerary now.
We'll do that first. I'll just go through exactly what else we're going to do, because it's going to be a bit different.
Yes.
At the end of last week's episode, we got a bit confused with how the new Planeswalkers work, so we're going to go into that just a little bit, and little like hints and tips that we've realised as well since learning more about how they actually work.
Specifically, it's only 2 of them, but that's not a problem. We'll go for it.
And then if there's time left at the end, we're just going to ask each other unscripted questions which neither of us will have prepared for.
Yeah, we have 3 mystery questions for each other.
Yeah.
Joe says that neither of us know what we're going to ask the other one, so it could get a bit on the spot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh. So without any further ado, let's crack that sucker open, Joe.
Okay, so this is the pack.
That is the pack. That's it. Yeah. Origins, and it's got Chandra on the front.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open it, and we're going to, I'll just say what cards are in it, and then
and then we'll just go for a pack one, pick one. We'll lay them out on the table, so we can get a good scope of the entire pack. And here we go.
Right.
First off, we have a Llanowar Empath, an Act of Treason, a Fetid Imp, a Gearcrafter, a Titanic Growth, a Volcanic Rambler, Suppression Bonds, Maritime Guard, Mighty Leap, Watercourser, Blessed Spirits, Conclave Naturalists, Gearper Aether Grid, and a Harbinger of the Tides. I know it's an obvious one, and straight off the bat I'm going to go as Joe's just literally picked up for the Harbinger of the Tides.
Okay, so just show this if I can. It's basically, it does cost 2 blue, so I wouldn't instantly say yes to that as my first pick, because it very definitely puts you in blue.
Yeah. But it's an outhouse.
So basically, I'll just read the card. It's a 2/2 for 2 blue, and you can choose to pay 2 colourless more to flash it in. And then when it enters the battlefield, you can return a target tapped creature to its owner's hand of your opponents. So it can work well in your go as well.
Yeah.
You know, if they've already attacked and you've taken the damage, or you can pay 2 more to not take the combat damage and return it to their hand.
If you've got 4 mana open, scenario. If you've got 4 mana open, and they go, okay, I'm going to tap my Chandra, to ping you for 1. After it's tapped, okay, I'm going to flash in the Harbinger, and I'm going to return Chandra to your hand. It's tempo. It's good tempo though, or something that's a massive powerhouse. Unfortunately, it's not removal, as in you're not getting rid of it, but it's tempo. I like it. It's good enough. Either that, I mean, for me personally, I'd either go for the Harbinger, as Joe says. Unfortunately, 2 mana or 2 blue mana's gonna be a bit hard, and it kind of puts you deep into blue. Or alternatively, I'd go for the Blessed Spirits, because that
is what I'm thinking.
2/2 flyer for 3.
Because I probably, the Harbinger of the Tides, probably it would be in the back of my mind to look through. It's not a definite a rare that I would take. And then the rest of the cards don't have 2 devotion to any one colour, so I would then kind of look at those all equally. I like Act of Treason a lot, and I like Fetid Imp a lot, and I think Suppression Bonds.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm looking at this pack.
Would definitely be up there.
I'm looking at this pack, and I really like the 3 white cards, which is Suppression Bonds, which is basically removal. So the card can't do anything. You can Mighty Leap, you can give something a boost and flying until end of turn, which flying is just great. in a draft.
Yeah.
And then Blessed Spirits. Maybe I'm thinking to stay away from Harbinger of the Tides because I went blue in the last draft and it's in my mind to maybe go a different colour, but I think I'd go for Blessed Spirits, the 2/2 flyer.
Yeah.
That when you cast an enchantment spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and it stays.
I mean, fortunately, this pack there's a nice bit of scope for options. I mean, I don't think you'd go for an Active Treason, pack one, pick one, but maybe the Girapur Crafter, which is a 2/1 for 3 that gets you a 1/1 Thopter with it, so that's 2 dudes for 3 mana, which is nice. Suppression Bonds is a powerhouse in terms of stopping horrendous stuff.
Yeah.
Especially for big bombs, maybe like a Cola Fed or whatever it's called, or something like that, or Outland Colossus. You could put it on possibly. We're talking obviously Origins limited.
Because what would be in my head right now is, for me, if I take the Blessed Spirits and then I'm passing this to my left, I'm pretty sure the person to my left is going to take Harbinger of the Tides, which puts them very strongly in blue.
Possibly.
And then
if their mentality's like ours or not.
It's true, but this is how I'd think.
Yeah.
And then I'd go, okay, so I'm not cutting them out of white necessarily, but I'm only leaving 2 white cards in there. So there shouldn't really for a long time be the impression that white is open, because the next person would go, oh, there's only 2 white cards in here.
That's true.
This guy might be in white. And then there's more chance of me getting Suppression Bonds and Mighty Leap all the way back round.
Possibly. I'd say Mighty Leap, you may get back around. Suppression Bonds will get snapped up relatively quickly because it's known as pretty premium removal. I mean, looking at this pack, you're not going to pick green first pick because Conclave Naturalists, Llanowar Empath and Titanic Growth.
So
oddly,
Concave Naturalist is just a sideboard card because you can destroy a target artifact or enchantment,
oddly,
so it wouldn't be.
There's only one black card.
There is only one black card, Fetid Imp, so you wouldn't take that.
No. Maritime Guard you're not going to touch because it's dog shit.
And somebody might think that you've taken a black card anyway, no matter what you take, because there's only one black card.
That'd be good signalling.
And there's no artefacts at all.
No. I'm just having a look at Girapur Aether Grid, which is tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. Girapur Aether Grid deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Yeah. Nah, you're not going to take it, no. So I think definitely be the Blessed Spirits, the Suppression Bonds, maybe the Harbinger if you want to go deep into blue, or possibly the Gearcrafter in my opinion.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks Mark for that. If it was one of the Planeswalkers, we were going to just offer it back to you.
We were going to sell it back to you.
But yeah, I don't think that's worth anything the Harbinger. So
no, maybe
it's cool. We will accept your gift and keep the cards. Thank you very much.
We will. And we may, if we have money, get another pack for next week, so hopefully we'll open something. Or maybe something older.
Maybe.
Yeah. We'll see what we can come up with.
Okay, so we had the new Planeswalkers last week. We briefly mentioned them, where Mike was going through a scenario that he had in a game, and we later found out that it was an illegal play. So, do you want to explain again what it was?
Yeah, basically I swung in with Chandra for the 2 damage that it does, and then as she was swinging, I buffed her up with Anointer of Champions to give her +1/+1. I thought hitting my opponent for 3 would then flip her, and then I +1 had to do 5 damage, the 5 damage that needed me to win the game. Apparently, as we found out afterwards from people on our locals Facebook group, that's not how it works.
Just as a caveat, in our first episode, I did say we might say some stupid things.
That's true.
That are incorrect.
And
so it was
Joe's proving us right.
Yes.
But as we say, we are relatively new, and you sort of live and learn, so to speak. But yeah, basically the rulings are, and it only sort of applies to 2 Planeswalkers in the sense of Jace and Chandra, they have to use their tap abilities to be able to flip. This is a ruling on Gatherer, which was pointed out to us. I didn't quite understand it, but if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. So the only realistic way to flip Chandra is hit for 2, use a red spell, then ping for 1. So she is a little bit harder to flip than first thought. Jace not so much, because if you've got 4 cards in the grave, you're just going to go tap, discard 1, draw 1, and then once that resolves, he will then check. There's 5 in the grave.
It's not just if you play it and it's happened.
If you're in blue,
so you would have to wait a turn if you had to get past Summoning Sickness to tap it.
Yeah, if you're in blue, you're playing a lot of spells anyway, and a lot of stuff that's going to go to the grave. So it's not that much of an issue in my words, or in my eyes. Liliana's still the same. As long as something dies, she flips, gets the zombie token and becomes a walker. Gideon is attack with 3. Nissa is an interesting one because she checks to flip when a land comes into play. So it's not like you've got 7 land in play and then you put her down and then she'll flip straight away. You have to bring a land in for her ability to actually check your lands, so to speak. Some people may know this. There is a very, very dirty combo you can do with... and
this is probably our tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
This is Mike's tip of the week.
Bring your dad. That is going to be my catchphrase. Basically, if you have a walker in grave, you can use with Veribos.
Walker what?
A planeswalker.
Oh, a planeswalker.
A walker Texas Ranger.
Okay.
If you've got a planeswalker in grave, you can use with Veribos to bring them back. From there, they have haste as well, so you can use the tap ability. So, for instance, if you've got more than 5 spells in grave, bring the Jace back, tap him, use his effect. He will then, his spark will ignite, or he will exile himself. As he exiles himself, the whip will, for want of a better term, lose track of him.
Yeah, and it will be satisfied.
It will be satisfied. You've fed the whip sufficiently. So he exiles himself through his own effects. The whip no longer cares for him, and then he comes back as a planeswalker. So Whip of Erebos is like late game, a bit of a cheeky way to cheat your planeswalker, and especially as I say, if you've got Nissa, and you go, okay, well I'll whip. If you haven't played a land that turn, which I stupidly misplayed on this while we were play testing, but if you haven't played a land that turn, whip her back in. Search out the land or the forest. Is it not? Is forest?
No, it can be any land.
Is it any land? Okay. Yeah. Search out the land from your library. Play it. As you play it, she'll flip again. The whip loses track of her, comes back in as the walker, and then you go, I'll have a 4/4 elemental as well, just for the crack. I'd say that Nissa and Jace are the 2 easiest to do that trick with, because Chandra, you're still going to have to hit, use a spell, and then tap her again. Liliana, you require something dying, so you need a board presence of something like an Antuka Husk or a Fleshbag Marauder and 7 mana in your hand to activate the whip and then bring her back. And Gideon, I suppose he has haste, so if you've got 2 other creatures on field, it's not, or Kithian, it's not going to be too hard.
Possibly.
But it's not as easy as Jace just going, I'm going to use my tap ability, or Nissa going, here's my land, play it, she flips. But yeah, that was like an interesting tip we found out, and a way to sort of cheat planeswalkers back. And I don't know...
It's not cheating, it's just using the cards very effectively.
It's knowing, it's knowing, because there was a bit of a discussion over it when we were playtesting. The only thing I'm not sure about, and I'm not sure if you know this either, if a planeswalker dies while it's a planeswalker rather than a creature, presumably it stays a planeswalker in the grave. Because if you imagine if it I think it must do, because you imagine if it reverted back to a creature and then you could abuse it again.
I think it would revert back to a creature, but we might need advice on that again.
Mark, help us.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, like, that's a neat little tip. But as I say, it's only really relevant if you're playing, or the easiest to do it with is Nissa and Jace. In my humble opinion.
Okay, so shall we do our Q&A?
We can do our Q&A. Shall we go 1 question each?
Yeah. Go back and forth. Shall I start?
You can start if you quite like.
Okay, would you like question 1, 2 or 3?
Just do them in order, or however you feel you would like to ask me.
Okay, well I've got one about draft.
I've just seen the papework, that is a long question.
There is a long question. It's got a setup.
It's not what's your favourite breakfast.
So there's one about draft and there's 2 about standard, just to give you a warning.
Mine are a bit more, mine aren't about formats, mine are a bit more vague or general, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with the draft one to start off with.
Yep.
Okay, imagine the scene.
Okay.
You are playing draft and you have just finished pack 1. In pack 2, the rare is off colour of what you've been drafting and unsplashable, but it is valuable. There is an unvaluable, uncommon card, which would be a bomb in your draft deck. How much does that rare need to be worth for you to take it?
Okay, if we're talking about our foil Tarmogoyf, I'm taking the foil Tarmogoyf every time, because I'm not stupid and if it's worth, I don't know, how much did the guy make off it? $7 grand? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where this question's come from, right?
This question, no, I'm thinking more like a draft now.
Okay.
Like if it was.
So this is what I mean. This
a Goblin Pile Driver or a Planeswalker.
Okay, you may know about it in the sense of. Have you heard about what?
I've heard about the story. That wasn't. I don't think it was.
If it was me, I'd have taken the Goyf, like no question. I don't care how deep I am. If there's a chart, I've already got 10 grand for being there. I'm greedy. You can't really pass up that amount of money. And again, to be fair, he gave half the money to charity as well.
Yeah.
That's why it sold for 14,000 American. Me personally, okay. So let's say for
just a value, how much it would have to be worth, and you know how much
it would have to be worth.
Yeah.
It depends on the scenario. If it's a foil Goyf, I'm taking it.
It's not a foil Goyf.
It's not a foil Goyf. So let's.
It's Origins.
Let's run this back to last draft. I'm heavy in red white after pack 1. I open pack 2 and the rare or mythic is a Liliana, say, or a Jace. We'll say Jace because he's the most expensive at the moment. So Jace is roughly about 20 to 25.
Okay, let's say Liliana because Liliana isn't splashable. Jace is.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I personally don't sell cards.
Okay.
So I don't care that much about the value of them.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound well cheesy, and you can not believe me if you don't want, but I don't care, to be honest, because this is how it is. I would prefer to do well at an event.
Yeah.
And gain experience in draft, because I'm shocking at draft anyway. Gain experience than take a card that's going to net me £15, because I don't. Money is a thing, but to me, £15 isn't a lot of money. I'd prefer to spend money while I have it than.
Okay.
That's why I'm in so much debt.
So it's only if it would be like thousands of a Tarmogoyf situation.
Yes. Yeah, if it was something ridiculous like £400, then I would take it. But it would have to be a significant amount of money, and it would have to be. I guess if it was an F&M and it was a significant amount of money, I'd take it. If it was, no, I can't say that because I just said I'd take the Goyf. It would have to be a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd prefer the experience and I prefer to win because that's going to make me a better player. And
I'm going to take that at about £100.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's say £100. I'm cheap.
You're cheap. I was going to say a fiver, to be honest.
Really?
I'm joking.
To say.
No, for me, I think if it was in the new set, if it was a Planeswalker, I'd take it.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. As I say, I don't really sell cards.
No,
I'm like,
all right, your question.
I don't want to.
Your questions are short.
My questions are short.
Right.
Question 1.
Okay, I'm ready.
Least desirable, worst Magic experience for you in these 6 to 7 months you've been playing. Don't take it as worst, because worst sounds horrible. But say least fun, all the time that you were just like, fuck this game.
I don't know, because I'm always quite enthusiastic about even when I'm losing dreadfully, but I'd say there's nothing against this. But I went to a draft a while ago, and it's a place where I go quite regularly, and normally it's quite quiet, but it's in a pub. And this time, normally we have like the room to ourselves, but there was like an event going on at the same time, like a meat raffle, and it was quite noisy. And
so even if you lose,
I'm not that sociable to begin with.
even if you lose a draft, you might stand a chance of winning a bit of steak.
Yeah, I didn't want to enter the meat raffle, and I love the people that I was there with, but I was having difficulty like concentrating and even hearing, and it wasn't that enjoyable.
For anyone who doesn't know, meat raffles are the worst thing on the planet, with somebody who's like got a 15-year-old PA system going, "Want to win a bag of sausages," sort of thing.
And the overreaction to winning some silver side beef, just
a nice bit of topside.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, no, I haven't got any like majorly negative experiences really.
That's fair enough.
I've had a couple of kind of arguments with Tammy when we faced each other as well, where she'll do something that will annoy me, and then we end up talking about it and maybe not playing each other for a week. And then I annoyed her the other day.
I think that's really cute, the fact that you guys are like, you destroyed my Planeswalker.
Yeah, because basically she went through a little phase of when she would beat me, she would show me the cards that could have also beaten me in her hand, which I find really, really annoying.
Sort of like salt in the wound, I guess.
Yeah. So she doesn't do that anymore because she knows that annoys me. And then the other day, what did I do? I did something to annoy her as well. Oh yeah, I told her off for drawing a card when I hadn't told her it was her go.
Fair point, in a friendly game, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a friendly game, and I was being a bit of a knob.
I suppose, to be fair, there's something to be said for being humble if you're winning.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I totally could have beat you with this as well. So
yeah.
Yeah. No offense to Tammy, Tammy's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we're not talking about my worst experience, fine.
Go on in. Your worst.
Game Day Dragons. Only because I was so confident that my Sultai whip deck, Lost the DC whip, was going to do so well, and then
humbling.
Oh man, just drew so many games and lost to a control matchup, and I was just this is the worst. When you spend a bit of money on a deck and you play test it and you're like, yeah, this is going to rock. I'm going to fucking take this down, and then you
lose to a £10.
You go and then you go 1-1-2 or something, and I was just and grind games out the ass when I was playing Leslie and the Mirror.
Just games that go on forever.
Oh yeah, it was but live and learn. Don't play Sidisi Whip.
Yeah,
is the main.
Okay.
Question 2.
Right, question 2 for you. What is your favourite 1-drop, so 1 converted mana cost, creature in Standard right now?
Don't ask me this. Oh my god.
I know what mine is. Do you want me to start with mine? What do you think?
I know 2 at the moment, but I'm very biased because I'm playing elves.
Okay. I'll let you have 2.
I've got 3 off the top
Oh,
of
you
my
can't
head.
have 3.
I'm not going to have 3. I like what they call typhoid rats. Really like typhoid rats. If I could, they're not that good, but if I could play typhoid rats and anything, I'd shove typhoid rats and anything because one with death touch is just go on then, attack me, and it's the most satisfying ever watching people go. I've had heroes down for your typhoid rats. Ultimate price it. It's value.
Yeah.
I'm biased because I'm playing elves at the moment, and I'm loving my elf deck, and it's been doing well in testing. Thornbow Archer 2nd, Nullroot Trapper 3rd, because Nullroot Trapper again is a 1-1 that can give stuff death touch. Thornbow Archer is just a bit more value sort of thing. Weirdly, they're all black as well. So I don't know what that says about me. I love black. So
the opposite to you, my favourite 1-drop is Dragon Hunter.
Okay.
From Dragons of Tarkir, because I just thought it's costs 1 white. It's a 2/1 for 1. The artwork's really cool on it, and I just really like the flavour and how the card works, because in a set that was just dominated by all these dragon lords and huge dragons, you can get out a creature that costs you 1, and it can block any dragon and survive from blocking that dragon because it has protection from dragons.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just I actually went to a draft once where I was playing against somebody and they brought him out, and I was like, oh, I love that guy so much, and he explained to me it was his pack 1 pick 1. And I was like, yeah, I don't blame you at all, because I love that card. So that's my favourite.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I really like Elvish Mystic as well, but again, biased elves.
Yeah.
Webs. Question 2. Favourite card artwork? You've already briefly skimmed it with Dragon Hunter. This is going to be a hard for me as well, because I can't think of any. Liliana Vest from M15. I love the artwork on Liliana Vest. But I really like Liliana because Black Planeswalker.
I mean, I don't know a huge catalogue of cards.
No.
Because there's the ones that obviously that have been around in the releases that I've been around, and then the ones that I've researched back for building my Black Devotion modern deck.
Sure.
So with the artwork, the one that's really, I've looked at that and gone, oh, that looks really, really cool. Not beautiful, because it's not something beautiful. It's basically the shiny foil brain maggot that I've got.
Okay.
I haven't got it to hand to show anybody.
I like
but
the way you said not beautiful.
It's not beautiful because it is a maggot going in someone's ear. But it's just one of those shinies that you look at it and you remember. It's just that's like a powerful image. I really like it.
Definitely. There's a basic planes that I really like as well. I can't remember the guy's name at the moment, but I bought some cards and some guy sent me one. It's just a throw in this basic planes. Yeah. And I looked at it and I was like, that is amazing, and subsequently bought more copies of that basic plane so I could have like all matching basic planes that
I'd
are
love
the same.
to do that.
But they look awesome.
Yeah,
Liliana Vest I really like. I'm trying to think of other things.
Yeah, that Brain Maggot one, I used to love playing the actual Brain Maggot card as well, because it basically gets into the other person's hand and you can exile a card as long as Brain Maggot's alive. But then I found that putting that effect on a creature often just like...
Yeah,
it's harder to do, because they'll end up getting the card back eventually, so I kind of fell out with that.
The other recent edition I liked that I've only seen recently because of, I guess, meeting you and your modern deck is Victim of Night. Because it just looks like the most brutal artwork on the planet. If none of you guys have seen it, it's basically a guy against a wall with blood all over the floor and his intestines hanging out and his like Avacyn sword next to him. It looks amazing. I was like, when our friend Will got them for me or gave them to me to give to Joe, I was looking at the artwork and I was like, holy hell! Like, I guess you don't really see that in Magic, like blood all over the floor and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is some hardcore stuff.
Some dark stuff.
Yeah, I probably should have prepared for that more because I'm not into artwork, but I can appreciate good artwork and be like, that looks amazing. Yeah. Question 3.
Right, question 3 for you, Mike, is what card will you be most upset about rotating out of standard in October and why?
Whip of Eros is one.
I thought it would be that.
Yeah, because Whip is like the best card on the planet for me. It just does everything. Giving everything lifelink is just like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So when that rotates out, you're going to just have a little sad face. I'm thinking about how do I fill this slot.
Frame them on my wall, yeah. Hopefully some good new elves will come out and send a card to replace them. Sylvan Carrot Head, Corsair Crufex, going to be a shame. There's like, I know people have sort of said that Theros isn't that good, but there's a lot of nice stuff in Theros. Yeah. M50 Hornet Queen. Yeah. Hornet Queen's good. I fucking love Hornet Queen. Like,
you love it.
I love it. Like, Hornet Queen's my card. Like, I was playing a deck with 4 of them in once, which was centered in. It's mine. I've got 4. They're all mine. 3 apparently.
I've got one as well. Don't tell him.
Hornet Queen's going.
Yeah, so that's quite a few that you're upset about. But the first one that came out was Whip.
Yeah,
Whip of Erebos.
That's because I'm currently playing it as well, though.
You play it in pretty much. He plays it in pretty much every deck.
Elvish Mystic's going to annoy me because again, elves. Liliana Vest because I like the artwork and the cards. Okay. Elspeth.
Yeah.
It's got Ashiok. Ashiok going out is going to suck. Love Ashiok. Oh. Love it.
So there's quite a lot of cards that you love.
How about yourself? What do you not want to see? What do you not want to say goodbye to?
Well, only out of frustration really, but I'm going to have to agree with you on Whip of Erebos because it's one of those cards that since I've got into it I know it's kind of rotating out soon. And at the moment I'm building my deck for game day and I needed 2 Whip of Erebos.
But it's a secret.
Well, I'll have that card. And it's just one of those that it's like, oh, you know, now that I've bought it, because I really need it for this deck that I'm building, that then the despair that I'm only actually going to have to play with it for a couple of months. When really I should just, when I wanted to 6 months ago, I should have bought it then. And I don't know why I didn't.
I mean, the thing is, they are super cheap at the moment, though.
Yeah.
On the plus side. Which is...
And I won't miss Hornet Queen at all. I hate Hornet Queen.
Not playing against it.
I hate playing against it, yeah.
Hornet Queen, Mirror Mockery, done. Have fun, opponent. It was the best thing ever.
That's one of the cards I hate playing against the most, but that's probably because other people love playing with it, and I don't normally go in green.
When you can use it with Mirror Mockery, it's all good times as long as you're sat on the right side of the table.
Yeah.
Definitely. But hey, I suppose we've still got standard that we won't play Whip of Erebos in our decks either, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, my final question.
The last question of the day.
Last question, because we are running on time, believe it or not. Card you're most excited about from Origins?
Ooh.
Think of this from a brew sense, because the set's kind of set in a little bit now, or cards you like as well, but maybe from a brew sense. The set's set in a little bit, and you're starting to see cards that you're a bit like, yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, there's one that I think is just a common really, but it's the one that since Origins has been released and I've been playing it a little bit that I've been in my mind brewing ideas with, and it will be in the new deck that I'll be looking to build for when game day comes up in 2 weeks.
I'm trying to work out what it is when you say it's common.
Yeah. Okay, basically it's Nantuko Husk.
Okay. And
the reason why I've been kind of thinking about this, brewing ideas up about it, is because there's a dragon in Dragons of Tarkir, which at the point it came out, it had an ability on it where you kind of looked at it and went, okay, well, that's great, I can't really do anything with it.
Yeah, it was a bit lackluster.
And Ruthless Deathfang was the dragon, and it basically says whenever you sacrifice a creature, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature. And at the time I don't think you had any way to just willingly sacrifice things off of a creature.
Exploit was a thing, but it was a bit clunky with a 6-mana dragon as well that didn't do a lot.
Yeah. Apart from that, it was just a 4/4, and it was just no real solid tactic that you could control a game with it.
It's a lot of 6 mana in a deck where you're playing Sidisi Undead Vizier as well. Is a lot of deck in it. It's a lot of deck. There's a lot of mana in a blue-black deck.
Yeah. Yeah, so
to an extent, if it's not a control deck as well.
Really, once I kind of realised, oh wow, this and the emergence of Thopters, so Thopter generation, Nantuko Husk can sacrifice those, and then through Ruthless Deathfang, that then forces you just control your opponent's board. If they've got 3 creatures out and you've got 3 Thopters, there's no way really that they can take over the game from that point.
The funniest thing as well is Hangerback Walker, because you basically go down to Husk, sacrifice Hangerback Walker, gain another 2 Thopters, sacrifice another 2, and if Ruthless Deathfang's on the field, you're getting
I'd say Hangerback Walker as well.
It will be an 8/8 Nantuko Husk, and they've sacrificed 3 creatures, and then you've still got your 4/4 Ruthless Deathfang as well. Yeah. It's just it's another way to board wipe that your opponent can't really stop because they're actually sacrificing rather than it being destroyed or anything. So protection's not going to work against it. Hexproof's not going to work because it's their choice to sacrifice it, so to speak, which is horrendous.
I just thought it was a really cool idea to brew a deck around. It's still kind of in proxy at the moment. I haven't got everything for it, and I'm not even sure if I'll end up playing it competitively at all. But it's a proper budget deck. It looks really fun, really controlling, and
it gets super annoying late game when you play against it. The fact it can wipe a board in one turn. Just
blue Thopters, black Nantuko Husk, blue black Ruthless Deathfang. It just fits. So definitely, I'd say that. What would you say yours?
Thinking now.
I went kind of out of the box with a common there.
You did. I really like.
Because I'm a commoner. That's why.
Really like Sentinel of the Eternal Watch. That's going to do some work because it's amazing. Planeswalkers are Planeswalkers are cool. I'm not that hot on them. Oh, what do I love from Origins?
I love how you didn't think what your answers would be to your own
I'm brilliant at
questions.
this, really, aren't I? Sentinel of the Eternal Watch is the one that comes to mind first.
So that's the one where you can tap a creature of your opponent controls.
In their attack
every turn?
Yeah, every turn.
Yeah.
And it's a 4/6, so it still gets over Reeve Soul. It doesn't get over a lot of the harder removal, but hey ho. Sentinel was good. There is another one that I cannot think of. I'm sure I play in Elves. I like Guildleaf Winnow. I like Dwynen. I like Dwynen's Elite, but they're all very deck specific rather than Sentinel could go in almost any deck, I suppose.
That's true.
It's got the mana for it.
And I find in Nantuko Husk is going in quite a lot of different deck ideas because it's just that there's so many kind of different tricks you can do with it. Even like mid combat, if Nantuko Husk doesn't get countered, like we were saying last week, Ben was able to swing for nearly 20.
Yeah,
wasn't he in his story?
19 damage.
It can get ridiculous. So I think it's a really, really cool card.
I really like. Not that I don't think I'll ever play them either, but Hix's Prison Warden I like.
Yeah.
Because it's an odd board wipe.
Yeah.
And Tragic Arrogance.
I like it. I don't think I'd play it or build a deck around it.
But
it does look
in terms of the way it's worded.
Yeah.
It's like you choose what your opponent is sacrificing.
Yeah.
And it's like what?
Yeah.
Languish as well. Love the idea of Languish, but I'm going to hate it when I'm playing against
that's what I'm thinking. Obviously, it's a great card, but I think I'm going to hate it.
Yeah.
Playing against it more than love playing with it.
And against Abzan decks, it's just going to be like, oh, well, thanks.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Cool. And that was us for this week. Next week, again, we don't really have a plan.
We don't have a plan.
I suppose.
But there'll be something.
There'll be something. I suppose we may even go over prep for game day, because game day is going to be the week after. We will work something out and
we'll brainstorm and just
and it
do
will be
whatever.
a surprise. We may even have a pack of something to open next week for a pack.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Sure.
So until next time, this has been Mull to 4 with.
Thanks for watching. I'm Joe.
With Joe and Mike. And yeah, we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.